This case was brought by the plaintiff, Andrews, who decided to file a lawsuit against the defendant, the Law Society of British Columbia, because the plaintiff found it discriminatory when he, a British citizen, was not allowed to be admitted to the British Columbia Bar. The plaintiff argued that he met all the requirements for admission under the Barristers and Solicitors Act except for one, a Canadian citizenship. He found this to be discriminatory and violated Section 15 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Section 15 of the Charter ensures the right to equal treatment before and under the law, equal protection and equal benefit of the law without any discrimination of any kind, including national origin. After the plaintiff appealed the dismissed trial, they were successful in the British Columbia Court of Appeal. However, the defendant chose to appeal to the Supreme Court of Canada. In the Supreme Court of Canada, they suggested that discrimination should be tested. First off, the complainant must show they have been treated unequally, and the effect of that unequal treatment must be discriminatory. And secondly, the government must demonstrate that the law is justified under Section 1 of the Charter is a reasonable limit. In the end, the Supreme Court sided with the plaintiff in that discrimination is essentially a distinction relating to personal characteristics of the plaintiff, whether intentional or not. The impact of discrimination for this plaintiff was the imposed disadvantage over other candidates admitting to the British Columbia Bar. On the other hand, dissenting judges have disagreed on many different grounds. Firstly, they argued that the Canadian citizenship requirement is justified under Section 1 of the Charter. Next, they encouraged that non-citizens should apply for a Canadian citizenship, which should not take longer than 3 years. Moreover, the privilege, status, and right to exercise the powers in the practice of law of a democratic government are very much extraordinary for anyone, thus, they should accept the obligations. Further, they stated that the Canadian citizenship implies a commitment to the Canadian society and ensures familiarity with Canadian customs and institutions.